YouTube, thanks for watching this next version of this episode series. Taking this thing apart. We got it out of the bike in the last episode, and if you didn't watch it, click up there or up there, whatever. Anyways, click on it, and you'll see the first step to this, which was getting this monster out of that frame over there. So what we need to do today is flip her over, build a little bit of a makeshift frame so that this thing can sit sort of level upside down, and then we're going to crack the bottom open to hopefully get to the forks and hopefully determine that it is a fork issue, and then order some forks and then put it all back together another day. So that's what the goal is today. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. If anybody has a bike like this and wants some details on, you know, whatever pulling this motor out, I'm not the best of an expert, but if you guys want to ask me any questions, shoot me a question or something like that. So let me know. Let's go.
So how are we going to do this?
I think we pick, flip, and set.
Right, but how do we want to pick, flip, and set? Do we want to have two people on the back of the engine to catch it as somebody tilts it up?
The middle point of weight is
Probably we don't want to roll it, so we don't take ourselves out. So what do I just try this?
It's over. It's flipped over. Look how.
Yum.
Anyway, so this is the oil pan. Significantly smaller than the bike.
Yeah.
Significantly smaller than the engine. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And these two.
Somebody hold it? You got to turn the whole engine.
I got it.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Gotta love crash bars.
So, there we go.
Hey.
1. There's my wrench.
So, the other thing is I'll hit the side and catch
So, this is the bolt for the oil filter. And it's just showing you how cool this is. They've got flow holes for the flow of oil through the bolt. And it's actually Chalo, if you can make that out. So it's really cool. Anyway, just thought that was an interesting piece to show people. Could have done that on a regular oil change, but why not do it now? Alright, so in theory, we should be able to just break the seal and pull this oil pan off.
Theory.
I don't know if it's working at all. It's moving slowly. That's not moving. Don't want to do that at home.
You're moving the whole thing.
Are we missing something? It really does feel like we're missing something.
Should be. Yep.
It's definitely changing.
Lower.
Getting close. Don't try this at home. For all those people who are going to mock me for using a screwdriver and a hammer to get this oil pan off, I'm using the fins and not really the surface area that the gasket would be on. So it's not really going to hurt anything.
I'm just waiting for it to go.
I know, I don't want it to go too hard. That's why I'm just going gently. Man, it's taking a lot, isn't it?
There it goes.
Ta-da!
Now,
Ta-ta.
can almost, yeah. Here we go. Get all the crud. Ooh, that noise. But come on in here, camera. You'll love this shot. So how do we get those forks off? Ryan, could you hand me that red rag, please? It doesn't look like we have that much wear on anything.
Well,
You can still see the milling threads on each gear. So that even each gear is not worn at all.
Properly lubricated.
So the goal is to remove
Bob's
this.
camera, so I can keep this here.
See that? Did you see that?
Huh?
Now I can't pull it back out. So YouTubers, you need to pay attention closely and remind me how this goes back together. Thanks. I can't even like angle my eyes at the camera directly because it hurts. Okay, it's bright. Okay, see ya. Okay, first one's coming out. It would be worn in here, really. Which it does have some wear right there. You would see like black marks, which I know it's really hard to tell with all the oil on it. But there's some black marks in there, some wear marks. It doesn't have to be worn by much for this thing not to work. So, and you can see the color difference in the metal, because I guess this gets more hardened out here on the end. It's kind of interesting. So, T7. Anyway, we'll set this guy down. Let's get the next one out. Okay. This guy. Yeah, that guy's a little bit more worn, I think, on the inside. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but there's a little point that actually curls in, and it comes to a point, and this actually flares back out again on the very tip. So that point looks relatively good on this side, but this side, if I can show you here, you can see it's worn down a little bit inside here, a little bit more. So it doesn't look as toothy, if you will, even though it has a very small degree anyway. That may be some of the issue. I don't know. I do have a nick in here. You can see where it picks up oil. That nick right there. So that may contribute to it. I don't know. Like I said before, I've been told that it's really all about small thousandths of inches that matter with whether or not this thing was working. So just to compare these two, I believe they're identical. Yeah, these two forks are identical, I believe. So I'm seeing the same degree of angles. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything definitive on here. If you guys have any idea, any experts out there on what fork wear should look like, let me know. Give me some comments. Let's try and see what it takes to get the third fork out. So this nut has this weird kind of washer that locks it in so it doesn't spin. So it's like this. So it's like bending down to grab the fork and bending up to grab the nut on this side. And the nut's in here. We need to pull this massive nut off, or bolt off rather, because that is keeping it as well. So we got to pull this guy, flatten that washer out. Alright, so I'm confirming that is the right size.
Yeah.
I do need to flatten that washer out a little bit more, so that's how you do it. Really.
Oil pan, I don't think you got to worry about so much though.
That's oil pan's torque spec.
Crush the
Well,
That's true.
oil pan is torque spec. I've got no technical skill involved in this at all, so I'm just going to throw out some terms here, and I'm probably wrong. But the main shaft that the main fork runs on, this actually sits down, and in that like cylinder, there's So, am I good in the shot?
Yeah.
That thing rides right in there to keep it from moving laterally, which is kind of cool. So right now, we actually can move this whole shaft in and out. Now what? 14 mil.
Even though this isn't parafocal, paralegal, paralyzed.
Oh, that was easy, thankfully. So this screw that goes in here is actually threading into this raceway here. So as that thing moves, this thing rotates. As you rotate that drum, it moves. So like here it would move out and then back in and then back out again and into that raceway. Isn't that pretty sweet?
That is pretty cool.
So can you see these wear marks up here? Those guys are not supposed to be there. If not anything, this will solve a future problem, us doing this. So yeah, so this is going to be the end of the video. I know that there'll be more to come, obviously, of putting this thing back together again, but I got to call some people and see if we can get some of these parts out to us soon. Hopefully by next week we'll be able to put this thing together after we do some shipping and whatnots. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I know this is, I'm not an expert here, but this has been fun.
Look at the bulge at the end.
Twit like a toilet. That was the bird that flew into that.
Yeah, the bird's right there.
We have a rogue bird in here, YouTube. Rogue bird. He just won't leave us alone. He likes crapping on cameras and motorcycles. Quit it! I said stop! That's it. It's good.